Hi, Heather Boyd here with another episode of IP Somm, and my guest today is John Pryor. He's the Chief Commercial Officer of LexDeck, co-founder as well. Am I correct, John?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So why don't you
like
tell
tech.
me a little bit about LexDeck for me, please?
Okay, so LexTech is an online brand protection business, which means that we are looking to make sure that everything that's going on online is as you would like it to be, as best as possible. So people aren't seeking to mislead your clients, or there aren't copycat websites going up, or there aren't social media platforms that are infringing on your trademarks. That's really what we do. So,
Okay, so you supplement people like me, IP agents, in their trademark brand searching kind of thing for clearance, as
no,
well as
absolutely.
monitoring
Yeah.
for.
No, absolutely. No, you're absolutely spot on. And it's a recognition that the world is now digital and increasingly so. And of course, 2020 has been probably the biggest acceleration in digital ever. But it means that all clients who are buying anything, be it a service or a product, do most of their research probably online, looking at websites, looking at reviews, even doing their banking, etc. online. So it's such a fundamental part of brand and brand protection that you cannot ignore the digital components now. The trademarks, of course, will always be paramount, but you've got to supplement that with the digital protection as well.
Right. So when I'm doing a search for my clients, I'm using a search engine that is specifically geared towards trademark brand searching of the trademark registers, perhaps just in Canada or the US or both or all over the world, depending on what client I'm searching for.
Yeah.
But what you're offering is more on what we call the common law side of things. So your search pattern would touch people, customers, organizations that haven't necessarily registered their brands in trademark registers.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. And it depends. I mean, we also do the back end once they've all been registered, but you're right, that creation process. And many times it's a sort of brainstorm. Sometimes you use a creative agency, and oftentimes those creative agencies will front run on the digital side of things. They'll be looking for the domains and they'll be registering the domains. So uh, it's really important to monitor that space and make sure that it's clean, because you need to have you don't want to be confusing your customers. Basically, you want it to be as clean as possible. Or there's a lot of bad actors out there at the moment. A lot of people seeking to defraud your customers and gain financial benefit through illegitimate means. So just to make sure you've got that covered as well.
Okay, so walk me through maybe what your search report or what you're reporting to associates or agents like myself how it would read for my clients. I'm really trying to get an understanding of how this can benefit or be a value added for my services to my clients. So
Yeah. So the case we had the other day, we were asked whether we could take down a website and a social media page because our client had registered the trademark, or our law firm's client who we were working with had registered the trademark. It turns out, unfortunately, the website was up and the Facebook page was up before they'd gone ahead and registered the trademark. So actually, it was difficult to do the takedown. I'm saying it's impossible, but it's difficult because they've got pre-existing rights, and you can't say there's trademark infringement because they were there beforehand. So making sure, and doing a Google search, which we all do, is fine, but of course, the website might not be up yet, and Google will only show you if the website's up. So doing the domain name search is crucial. Doing a social media search is really important, and depending on the business, looking at marketplaces and potentially apps could be very important as well.
could you walk me through a little bit more on the social media searches or watching services that you provide? How does that elevate the search report that I'm going to provide to my clients?
Well, it supplements what you have already. So if somebody has an Instagram page or a Facebook page or TikTok or something up there already, it could be confusing to clients. And the Google search, of course, we should do the search engine as well. The search engines might come up with something that could lead clients to believe they're on your page when they're not. They're on somebody else's business. So yeah, it's supplementary, complementary, but so important these days to do the digital search in a much more thorough fashion than has traditionally been the case. Not in your instance, Heather, but generally in the trademark registration world, it's not systematically done.
Right.
And my belief is that it should be systematically done.
I know in Canada, a lot of agents steer clear of doing common law searches. They rely on search engines like Thomson CompuMart, where they get the registrability search plus common law searching that's done, but they don't really touch into the Canadian market space. So is your platform able to look at the online marketplace monitoring, search SEO monitoring or whatever in the Canadian market space?
Yes, of course, we can look all over. Yeah, and we can look. The key thing though is to look from a Canadian's perspective.
Right.
Rather than what you'll generally find is from a US perspective. So, most of these firms probably are based in the States or even not actually other European countries in Europe, apart from the UK. And generally they're looking from their own angle. So they're looking from Holland or Spain or America and seeing what an American would see on the Canadian page. The key for your clients is to see what the Canadians would be seeing from a Canadian page, and that's what we provide.
Right, and that's why they come to see us to get their searching done, because we do both a common law and the registrability search. But if it's a one-stop shop with you, that it saves me a whole lot more time than if I can get the report from you about what is all out there potentially in common law. Then I can assess that based on just looking at what you've already come up with, rather than having to go through the steps of doing all the different searches that we have to do. I mean, right now we're searching the online telephone directory, we're searching the corporate directories, we're searching common law. We do domain name searches, which, from a Canadian standpoint, when we're doing the common law Google search or whatnot, it does bring up some of the Facebook pages and everything, but probably not as comprehensive as what you can provide to us.
Yeah, and I think we probably will both agree, and it sounds like you've got a lot of these bases covered, Heather. So it's so important to complement the old world, the analog world, with the digital world, and not only to make sure that when you do the registration of the trademark, you cover all those bases, but then on an ongoing basis that you're looking on a regular, you're being vigilant. You've got a watching service or a searching service to make sure that ongoing 6 months, 12 months, 3 years down the line, you're also finding out what's going on in that space, because those are early indicators. So one of my favorite ones at the moment is the British Airways data hack. They were fined £20 million actually by the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, just a month ago, I think it was.
Okay.
And they were, part of the reason they were fined is that they hadn't taken enough steps. So the bad guys had registered baways.com, not ba.com, but baways.com. And the website was pretty much identical, and it was very difficult to perceive any difference, and easy to think, well, maybe that's the right domain name, and you went straight through.
Yeah.
Gave all your data across, passports and credit cards, but it was going straight into the fraudster's hands. And so, appreciate it, not just for the domain name, they missed the domain name, but for other reasons as well. They were fined £20 million at a time, of course, so they couldn't really afford it.
Concerns and
now, just doing that monitoring is a fundamental part of brand protection, but also client protection as well. The last thing you want is for clients to be being misled by the bad guys.
Right. So I just wanted to kind of recap that you provide services that can help agents such as myself on the front end when we're doing brand searching for our clients, but then there's ongoing brand protection in that you're conducting watch services for confusion with fraudsters, I guess, people who are doing that, or counterfeit. Does it cover counterfeit stuff?
Absolutely counterfeit. Yeah, and we should certainly mention that because it does clearly enable us. For example, we do a lot of work with cosmetics and healthcare products, and those are easily copied. And we will identify on the marketplaces, for example, and actually increasingly social media. There's a lot of sales through through the Instagrams and the like at the moment. So we will identify that medical product or that cosmetic product is being sold on those platforms, and we can share all that with you. And you can say, well, actually that doesn't look right, because we're not actually selling in that medium. So that must be either a reseller or it must be counterfeit, and we can dig deeper.
So have you ever come across gray market stuff? Because that's a contentious part in when clients are dealing with Canada, in that there's no crime or problem with gray market material. We don't deal with customers' distribution or licensing agreements, have nothing to do with it. If it's the product that came from that customer, no matter how it got into Canada, it's allowed to be sold. So, I mean, this is a warning, I guess, a cautionary tale for, I guess, if you would be able to locate gray market materials coming in, then the client would have to go back to their distributors or their manufacturers to really make sure that they nail down their licensing and distribution agreements properly. Is that?
Yeah. No, couldn't agree more, because it's a fundamental part of the brand equity, the brand integrity. If you set up that relationship with your supplier and your distributor, and you find that they're selling round the corner through a back door back into Canada, and providing discounts that you'd prefer not to be offered, then it's really important that you're monitoring that, and we will be able to find. If it's online, if they're trying to promote that online, we will pick that up for you.
How would people contact you to be able to do a trial version of this? Because the common law searching element that you're talking about seems to be a fundamental aspect of trademark practice in Canada now that our trademark laws have changed such that we have to provide opinions on distinctiveness now. So I'm thinking that the common law searching element to start would be a really good place to start with you. And how do they contact you? And what do the reports look like?
Well, we have a platform, and we can either, your clients, your followers, can either contact us directly or via yourself. Because the value of coming through you, for example, is that you can provide that service to them. And you can monitor on their behalf and say, yeah, there's been 50 this month, but actually it's these 5 that I'm really concerned about. Forget the other 45. Let's dig into these, because it does look like there might be some grey market activity, for example, with these. And let's see whether there is something really going on. And you can add that value to them.
What if you don't know that information? Like you just. So maybe I can walk it through the way I would do a trademark search. So I put in the trademark into, the registration, the database kind of search engine.
Exactly.
And I put it in as the trademark, and then I put it in potentially as phonetics or request a fuzzy search or, that kind of thing, so that it can capture not just the identical words that I put in there, but words that are in close resemblance to it that may be considered confusing with my trademark. Is it the same kind of thing that you're doing?
So you would, yeah, exactly. You would put in a search term, whatever that search term is, the hair care name and related ones if you wanted to. And we would pull up everything that relates to that, and we would do it in order of priority. And you can help shape that priority over time, of course, and make it more relevant. And you can then determine what is significant and should be possibly taken down or certainly investigated further. So ideally, we would work through somebody like you, Heather, who can add that layer of value on top to the client and filter. Because the last thing people want is to be swamped by hundreds of entries. And over time, you can tweak the platform so that you're just getting those key salient ones for your brand, and you're then able to either directly do the takedown without even asking the client, because you've built up that rapport with them, or you can have that conversation with the client to decide what they want.
Do you guys do the takedowns as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So we would work through you to do the takedowns on a seamless kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
how do you walk me through your platform in terms of counterfeit, how that works? Identifying counterfeit.
Yeah, so we would pick up that your brand of shoes, the pillar trainer, is being sold in the Brazilian market.
Coming to you soon.
Been sold in the Chinese marketplaces. It's been sold on eBay, and we would, because of the criteria that you've given us, that actually, this sort of price is what it should be sold at. These are the identifying features, and we can pull up all of those that don't meet those criteria, and with snapshots of the social media, the marketplace image, and so you can see the potentially infringing ones, and you can then we can go to take them down, take the websites and take them up, the listings down off the marketplaces, but you can also feed that information back to pillar trainer business that you've actually identified this counterfeit activity, the problem that's going on, and that you've dealt with it.
Excellent. So it sounds to me like LexDeck, because full caveat, full disclosure here, we have not yet obtained your services, but we're going to try a free trial with you to see how it can benefit our clients. And that would be, I think for us, because we do a lot of searching for clients, that will probably be the front end is probably where we're looking for more help. Because it will just simply save us time. But I think what you're saying is that if a client has a trademark agent or in-house counsel, they can go directly through you. But otherwise, they should be coming through associates or trademark agent firms to go through to get your services, right? That's the ideal.
Yeah, we prefer that they come through experts such as yourselves, because you can add that insight, because you understand the brand, you understand how it works, etc., and you can add that.
Well, and we understand the law and how it's being applied for that specific client. So in our jurisdictions, kind of thing. So excellent. Okay, so as we always get to the point in IP Somm where we're drinking. I understand John is not drinking today.
No, I am, but I need to go and get it. I left it over there. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah.
It's a red. It's a Spanish red.
Toro.
With a German Gold Award. It's a Tempranillo called Toro Loco, Mad Bull, I think.
Yes, sounds about right. Okay,
yes.
and as part of my IP Somm today, because it's still morning here. It was 8 minutes ago. Because it was still morning here when we started this, I'm having what I call a whiskey sunrise. I made it myself this morning, new recipe, and it is about an ounce of whiskey in with a cup of coffee and 2 freshly squeezed mandarin oranges with a teaspoon of buckwheat honey. So cheers.
Very healthy. Cheers. Good health.
To good health. Thank you. I think we're doing that a lot right now. Cheering to good health. Isn't that like a COVID test? If you can smell your wine and taste your wine, then you're going to test negative.
And keep repeating it. Yeah, absolutely. Do it as frequently as possible.
That's right. Yeah. John, I really appreciate you joining me today, and I really look forward to the trial of LexDeck for my clients. And in the meantime, if we have any clients out there, big clients that have in-house counsel or other associates, I really encourage you to reach out to John. We'll have his contact particulars below so that you can obtain common law searching services, any back end
Watching.
watching services to help your clients. It's a value added that you can't go wrong with. So cheers, John.
Cheers. Absolutely.
So that ends another episode of IP Somm. If you like what you saw here, please like, share, comment below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, we're not providing legal advice here. We're just sipping wine, whiskey, and talking IP. Cheers.